Okay, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football show. Wow, we've been locked in today since 12:30, but you know what? It's been a very, very good day. Ipswich dropped points at lunchtime. Looked like Huddersfield might do us a favour for a second. Didn't turn out to be the case. I think it's like 5-3 or something now. It's finished, as we would expect. Normal service resumed. But Leeds United did what they needed to do, and they put Rotherham to the sword. It's mad. It's becoming normal now for Leeds United almost to win these games of football. It's mad to consider that we've just battered someone 3-0. Yeah, 3-0. And it's still, you're like, meh, kind of vibe, which sounds a bit wild. But, you know, if we're being honest, it could have been 4, 5, and 6. You know, we've spoken about it during the watch along. I don't think there's much you can pick out of the game. Like, there was some good performances from some. I just think it's a case of, like, if we were at our clinical best, that game could be 5 or 6. Like, I can't lie to you, but I want to get what you know, the others think. We've got Kev joining us from Leeds House, and we've got Evie as well. Great to see you both. Kev, how do you feel about that one, buddy?
I really enjoyed it. It's the calmest stuff about watching Leeds for ages. There's some good performances. Yeah. It was just good. Easy.
Just an easy day, light work. Yeah.
Definitely light work, mate. There was no threat in that game at all. Nothing.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was just going to ask Evie there because obviously Evie's mentioned earlier on in the season, Kev, we struggle against teams like this, and I guess we still struggle to score loads of goals. Like Southampton have scored, say, 5, today, for example. But Evie, I'm going to come to you because I don't know if you caught what I was saying, but you mentioned earlier on in the season, we struggle in these games, etc. That wasn't the case today. Okay, we're only 1-0 up at half time, but we battered them, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was absolutely... This should have been the scoreline really against Bristol kind of thing, an absolute pasting. They offered so little and they were so dirty, and the ref just had no clue in the game. He had no control. He was giving, and I kind of felt like he was giving decisions because of the potential Bamford goal. So it felt like he was trying to make up for decisions instead of just saying, it's the championship, get on, we move on, and that's it. He was giving decisions for both sides, but just really, he would give really soft decisions and then not give obvious ones. And then obviously, with the visual radio, they were saying on the commentary, everybody was saying it's a penalty, and then a goal kick got given. Nobody had a clue about what his gestures were actually meaning. It was hilarious because we were, already winning by that point. But, that would have been frustrating as hell if that hadn't have been the case. But yeah, it was, you can tell they're a desperate team, and that's the one thing that maybe, don't get me wrong, I don't like them by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're down, we know from last season what it's like being a team at the bottom of the table and you're doing anything to try and fight. In fact, I'd probably wish we'd have done more of what they were doing today last season, because we might have had enough to stay up had we have had people actually fighting and doing something a bit scrappy. But yeah, it was a efficient game. We did what we needed to do. And he made subs. He rested people. It was incredible. But that goes to show what happens when you're a little bit more efficient in front of goal. Yeah, and we were still frustrating. 3-0, and we probably should have been 5 or 6 up. So, but 3-0, they were offering very little, and Meslier made a couple of saves when called upon. You can't really ask for more than that, can you?
No, that's what I mean. It feels mad, Kev. Like, we're doing a post match, we've battered someone 3-0, but it's like it's just normal service at the minute. It's like we're still struggling to pull out things to talk about, because that was just like, we turned up, we did our business, we went home. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're a very hard fan base to please at the moment, aren't we? Considering because Southampton are doing so well, where you've got to give them some credit. They're relentless at the moment. Ipswich are dropping points. We're winning games comfortably, not conceding goals.
Yeah.
We've got the second best defense in the league. We've only 2 goals behind Leicester now conceded after today's game. We're doing so well, and it's just like you just said. It just feels like there's still something missing because we're not in those automatic promotion spots at the moment.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you were to pick out like some key personnel within the game, Kev, like what you're saying, I think for me, I thought Archie impressed again. I think we're still seeing this slow transition to him being the main guy in midfield. That's what I feel. I think we're seeing it every time. It's like, right, okay, you're coming out. It was a mad. We saw Creswell as well. Which again is like. I mean, I won't lie to you, he gave away a few silly free kicks where you're a little bit like, really? But listen, he hasn't played all season, has he?
I thought he deserved to probably even start today, but it's just the team he picks the same side all the time. One person that actually stood out for me today, I thought Patrick Bamford played really well. He seems to have picked his touch up a lot better. He's not flapping at touches anymore. He's that diagonal over the top from Ampadu where he controlled it and he just let it go from him. I mean, Rutter did the same thing and nearly scored. There were some great touches out there from our forward players today. But I think Archie's definitely going to move into that midfield at some point this season. And there's only one person that looks like he's going to come in for, and it's going to be Kamara, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the only person to take out of that side.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. Vic's mentioned Rutter. Evie Rutter again was phenomenal. I mean, listen, again, it's like, I don't... What do we talk about, Evie? Like, give me something, you know?
Is this what it's like to be a City fan?
Yeah.
Like, you know, where you're just so much better than everybody else kind of thing, you know, and it just, you know, the one thing that I would say is that obviously you can hear our fans. So,
there is that.
You know, that is the distinction between us and City and maybe the whole league. But it's just nice that even when we made mistakes and things, this is what I've said like all season long, is the fact that the team seem to just be working for one another. So people kind of tell each other off, but it's not as in like it's a berating. It's I've got your back, but please don't do that again. And you know, they just seem to cover for one another. And you know, I felt bad for Nonto because I thought he worked really well today. And he really deserved a goal. And I wish Rutter. He's so much fun to watch, and he's so frustrating to watch all in one. Like he's the most. He gets you out of your seat, and he misses the chances that probably stat-wise are more difficult to miss than they are to score. But most of our kind of attacks came from a Somerville interception and then a kind of a Rutter through like threaded pass. It's the creativity in that man is absolutely outstanding.
I think it just goes to show, Evie, the fact that we're not even talking about Rutter at the start of this is that he's doing this stuff every single week now, isn't he? And it's just we're expecting him to do these things, and any other team or any other day we'd be talking about how good he played today, and we're talking about the other players stepping up, considering how good that he played. And he's just like you just said, he's just a joy to watch. Honestly, every time he gets the ball, I get a smile on my face because I just feel like something's going to happen. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. He's so good, like even defensively as well. Like it's got to stay. Like it gets to the stages in games where opposition players are just saying, "Right, I'm just going to boot you now," because like it's that frustration thing, and isn't it? You know what I mean? You've got like the mad thing is you've got young Archie who's 17 ripping you know older pros, and they're thinking, right, you're going to get the boot, and then you've got Rutter who's a young lad as well, and he's like just schooling him from a technical standpoint. And what did we make to Somerville's penalty, by the way? What a penalty that was, man.
He's got some bollocks on him, hasn't he? He's got some absolute cojones. I would never have done that in a million years.
Nah.
Especially after missing the last one. And he
exactly,
just does that.
that's the thing, yeah. You spoke about Nonto, because I went to the bookies earlier and I had Nonto, Bamford, Somerville, all to score, and Leeds 4-0. Didn't come on. I also had Bamford first goal, Leeds 4-0. I was fuming because we had chances to make it 4 as well towards the end.
Yeah.
Like There was so many, so many chances. Keep your comments coming in, folks. We're that good, like Evie said. It's like City, so we're struggling to pick out key points. But Evie, Michael's mentioned, great to see players rotated with the subs. We've seen Roberts coming on, we've seen Joseph coming on, Byram coming on at left back. Actually, let's talk about Firpo, because the fact that he played 120 minutes, Evie, and then started this game and was great again, it's like, I think he's actually fixed. I think he might actually be fixed.
Don't say it too loud. Don't say it too loud. But
an assist though as well, didn't he? He got an assist as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Is that the one for Bamford?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, the guy is. Yeah. He can't say much wrong, but I do think it was the perfect time, because obviously we decided 3 was enough, kind of thing. If we got any more, that was a bonus, but we decided that 3 was enough to get the job done. And for me, Byram is better defensively. We'd used Firpo to get the best out of him, but like you said, he's just played 120 minutes earlier on. Something that he's never been able to do in a Leeds shirt before. So don't push him too far. I think, obviously me especially has been going on about his rotation throughout the season. But maybe he's known what he's doing all along. It's like he's a football manager or something. And, maybe he knows that this is the time of the season when, if you are still in a cup competition, that you do have to rotate your players more. And because our front 4, which I have been critical of in the past, got the job done today, it meant that Farke was able to do what he wanted to do in terms of he could rotate the squad. I suppose in Farke's opinion, if the front 4 don't get the job done, he can't rest players because he still needs his best 11 on the pitch. So because those are the more likely to score. So you can't fault his subs. They were brilliant. I thought Connor Roberts looked really lively. Great tackle, and should never have been a free kick either. He got the ball 100%, and he almost got himself an assist as well. So, I thought he was great. It was nice to see the crowd's reaction when Creswell came on as well. It was everybody was like, we're all here for you. Let's start again. He's seen Nonto get a fresh start after the Bristol game. Everybody, it's just it's nice for the first time in 2 years to be a Leeds fan. 100%. The team feel together again, just like they were under Bielsa. This is the team that you could fall in love with, and it's very dangerous to say because it can all go wrong, but it really does feel like this team is a team that gets Leeds. And for the last 2 years, we haven't had a team other than a few members, like core OGs kind of thing, that got what it meant to play for Leeds. So it's really positive. It was a little bit concerning, Kamara's pass back to Meslier. That was squeaky bum time, that was.
People will blame Meslier, but it was the pass.
No, it was Kamara. It was 100% Kamara. It really was. I thought I don't know whether Meslier was maybe having even a little bit of a joke with that, because it was almost like he took a touch and everybody, it was like a pantomime moment kind of thing. He's like, no, it's all right, guys, don't worry, I've got this. We're only playing Rotherham, and that was probably the only moment where I was like, oh my God, are we going to lead this up right now? So, but no, we managed it, and it was just a really good, solid performance,
100%. There's nothing more you could ask for. Let's bring in the tribal chief, the acknowledge me himself. It is Mr. JT. I'm with you there, bro.
The one to the sky.
Yes, brother. Exactly. Talk to me, mate. Like, great. Look, just standard, weren't it? Standard procedure. Just before you do, folks, we're on 939 live viewers. Please smash the likes. Let's get that over to 1,000. Check out Leeds House. Check out JT Live and Evie's channel. Still coming soon. Like, we're still coming. Maybe with you. But it will be there. It will be there, I'm sure. JT, come on. Talk to us, man.
Finish the story and create that channel. And and as I said, smash the likes, because yet again, your boy Joe doesn't miss a beat. his birthday yesterday, so I just want to give a 1 second shout out to you, my boy, once again. So everyone show some love and support the stream. But yeah, I thought it was more than a job done. I thought it was a very convincing performance, and it was the first time in a while that as Leeds fans we've actually been able to just put our feet up a little bit, chill, have a couple of goal lead, because even though we've been controlling all of these games, we always take it down to the wire with 1-0s and 2-1s. And I don't know how we keep taking it down to the wire with the quality we actually have in the squad is phenomenal. Like Somerville, for me, I'm going to talk about him later when you ask man of the match or whatever. For me, clear on man of the match. Best player in the league, man. Some of the things he does, he changes the game on a knife edge. I'm sat there, I'm saying, I'm waffling. I'm like, Rutter, he doesn't always start the half the best. He's a bit slow, and Leeds are, he grows into the game. And within a second, he drops the shoulder, puts it through the legs. Somerville, one run, changes the game. I do think it could have been 4 or 5. If I was to level any criticism, I thought we could have really, really exposed them, because Rotherham today were weak as anything. The amount of gaps and holes, it was like a colander looking at their defense at times. Honestly, they were like pure gym, open for business 24/7 out back there. It was ridiculous. I don't know how we didn't.
That's a good one. I like that.
To be honest with you. But listen, I thought it was a great performance. I am still left with a little bit of sour taste in my mouth just because of how happy I was at halftime, seeing Southampton trailing 2-0 to Huddersfield, and then seeing them peg it back at the end. It's a little bit bittersweet for me at that moment. Yeah, I'm ecstatic that we won 3-0. I just come on now. It's between us and Southampton. We've been saying it for a few weeks. I think Ipswich are, I don't see them really being in this competition.
Now, aren't they? 1 win in 9, 1 win in 9 for Ipswich. 1 win in 9 in the league. It's not great.
But Southampton, as you said, whew,
I know. Mate, you know what? The people watching this channel, I've got loads of bookmark tweets about Leeds being out of the race, and at half time when they were 2-0 down, I almost got them out, and people in the chat were going to me, "No, wait, Joe, wait." And I'm so glad they made me wait, because obviously they came back and won the game 5-3, I think, in the end. But what that does show us, though, is that they can be got at and will be got at. They've got West Brom in a week. They've got to come to Elland Road. And all we need to be is within 2 points of them come the final day. And then it's a shootout, isn't it? And, I'd back us against any team at home at the moment. I'd back us against lower end Premier League teams at home at the moment, if I'm being totally honest. So, it's all good. JT, have you for us? Oh, no.
Wow. No. Yeah. I'm just good actor. I'm like Jamie Vardy pulls the freeze celebration.
I love that. Keep your comments coming in, folks, and let's have a look. So, this is it's amazing what's the turnaround really since the turn of the year. I can't see famous last words, but I look at, say, like the rest of the games that are coming. We've got Southampton away, we've got Plymouth away, and I'm like, it's another 6 points in the bank. I know. Listen, we don't know when the game unfolds and all that, but at the minute, the only one I'm really, really worried about, because Chelsea's a bit of a free hit because it's the FA Cup, is Leicester at the end of the month when they come to Elland Road. But the other games, I've watched Swansea a few times. They're dog dirt. Plymouth, we've already played them 3 times and not lost yet. I think we beat them. So it's like the only game I'm concerned about coming up is Leicester. I don't know how do you folks have that much confidence as well in the squad right now? Like, who's gonna test us?
I think Leicester will test us, but they've only kept 1 clean sheet since December, so they equally can be got at. We're the joint highest in terms of, we've got 13 clean sheets, and obviously still unbeaten in, middle of February at home. We know that we get our best results at home, and also it's like what I said months ago about the fact that Leicester, and at the time Ipswich, could afford to lose games against us because they were so far ahead. So I'm not saying that they won't come and try it at us, because of course they will. In theory, if we do get promoted, we're going to be their direct competition next year. But if the game is going a bit like Ipswich's game went against them, he'll start making changes and not get his best players injured, because it's just not worth it. When to win the league, you beat every other team. You can afford to have a team that's your bogey team if you win against everybody else. So I still am fairly confident against Leicester. I would probably be more wary about Swansea than I am about Leicester
Really?
for the simple, not for the fact that they're better, because they're obviously not, but it's just obviously we're going to have, we've got half of a Swansea team, don't we? So there's going to be a bit of a prickle when we go away there, especially with obviously Pirro's celebration last time. It annoyed a hell of a lot of the fans when Pirro was there, kind of, bashing on the Leeds badge, celebrating, scoring against them and everything. But I'm not saying I am concerned about Swansea. I'm just saying I'm more concerned than Leicester, because I genuinely think that we play better when we are up against tougher competition, because we don't let our standards drop at all.
Yes, correct.
So, yeah, I can really see us going unbeaten, and I don't say things like that lightly.
No, you don't.
Know that I'm quite, quite, level-headed when it comes to things like this. But now that we've got over that stumbling block of losing and dropping points against your Rotherhams and things like that, those are the points that we lost. Other than Southampton, that's the only game that you can kind of say, fair enough, we deserved, they genuinely have a good team, and but there's a lot of points that we drop when we deserve to win. So now that we've kind of got over that stumbling block, and I thought Joseph looked really good when he came on as well, very, very physical, not afraid to put himself about, and I don't think he'll need long to get, need a long time to get a goal. So I think, we've potentially got even more backup for Bamford, and that's always been the worry, is we do play better when we've got Bamford leading the line. And, for as much as, he can be a divisive player at times, I do think
Scored today,
that
scored again.
No, well, exactly, and you can't fault him. Anybody who steps on the pitch, you have to support 100%. But Pirro doesn't lead that line. I don't know. I feel bad on Pirro because
brewery, mate.
I know, and the thing is he's still got goals. He's still got goals this season.
He was non-existent again, the Wavy, when he came on. I don't remember him touching ball.
I actually thought that he did quite well, because one of the frustrating things with Pirro is he gets pushed off the ball really easily. He's really soft in challenges. He doesn't challenge people, and when people challenge him, it's like he kind of just surrenders and says, please don't hurt me, kind of thing. And that frustrates me, because you can't be, we saw that last year with Aronson, and look how well that worked out for him. We need biters and fighters. We need players who are going to give us a bit of a grit and everything. So I want Pirro to be a little bit tougher, and I thought that he actually did do that a bit today. There was a couple of tackles in midfield where he just rode them a bit, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Damar, I'm just gonna have to, just before anyone else comes in, do not talk to me about that tripe, right? Because if it was up to you, Bamford wouldn't be at the football club, Spencer be playing at right back, and Archie be on the bench, mate. So don't talk to me about agendas, fella. All right.
To be fair, in his defence, you did all. If it was down to you, Bamford would also be on the bench. But
you're not allowed to do that on this channel. No.
Let's get back for that one.
I have no agenda by Pirro, by the way. I just don't think he's doing much. But
to be fair, you don't, because you when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. That's
100%. Yeah, but just very rarely I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Somerville. Let's talk about that. But anyway, to be fair, I do tend to agree with you. I don't want to go back on Pirro, because I'm sure the chat will go into meltdown. It's, I have my opinions on him. I don't want to keep talking about him. But I do probably agree with you. I just don't think that's the right position for him in the 10. I don't understand the changes sometimes.
Where do we put him then? Just like
9.
You put him on the bench until you can figure out a place to put him where he contributes to the system. That's what you do. And that's not me saying that he deserves to be on the bench because he's a bad player. You just need to find a way of getting him in. If you don't, you can't shoehorn players in. But you talk about who I fear. Do I fear teams? To me, to be honest, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. There's only one team in the league that I fear, and that team is Leeds United. Because when we're on our A game, there isn't a team that can touch us. I'm going to be real with you. I still think our first 11, our starting 11 is clear of anyone else in the championship. If you talk about squad quality, if you talk about individual talent, we have it in abundance, mate. Our front four is lightning. It is honestly unbelievable. And all of the games that we seem to throw away are our own fault. Like, when have you seen a side really come and play us off the park? I mean, Southampton, I thought when they played us earlier on in the season, that was probably one of the few games I'd say, you know what, they actually thoroughly deserve to win. Every other defeat we've had mostly has been against substandard teams compared to us. Teams like Rotherham, we saw today how much of a golfing class there is between Leeds and Rotherham, but we're dropping points to them earlier on in the season. Yeah. I don't think that there are sides that really struggle us. And you made an interesting point, Evie, about Leeds raising our game to opposition teams. And I said earlier on in the season, maybe that's because the players are raising them and you need the manager to build them up for the smaller games. I think that's one aspect of it. I think another aspect of it is also the fact that when sides like Leicester, maybe a Southampton now at this point, come to Elland Road or they come to play Leeds, they come with a bit of confidence. They don't come to shut the game down. They come there thinking, you know what, we're on the same level as Leeds. We were just in the Premier League. They come to play football against us. And when a side comes to play football against us, then it is, you know, a very, very, very dangerous game to be playing, because on the counter-attack, I think we are the most dangerous team in the league. Yeah. And you saw it. I'm not going to say Rotherham were, you know, trying to tiki-taka Barcelona us, but they left gaps there. They didn't plant everyone defensively. They didn't try and park the bus in front of the defense. There was a lot of gaps for Leeds to exploit.
That's just because they can't do that role good enough, though.
Yeah, they can't do it. Yeah, no, of course, that's what I'm saying. They can't do it good enough. But other teams
a bit like Huddersfield.
Can do it. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. But if you've got enough quality, because that is like a huge gulf. When there's a little bit of a golfing class, then teams can like sit back and defend. But when teams like Leicester or whatever come to Leeds, and as you said, it's going to be at Elland Road. Yeah, that's the only one. If you're saying, am I scared? Not that I'm scared of Leicester. I'm scared of us losing an undefeated streak, because the fact that we've still got that home record at this point in the season, phenomenal. Like, absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
and
just
if
on
we lose that, I do fear that could derail like our season slightly.
Just on that, Chris from LUFC Data has just tweeted out to say Daniel Farke becomes the first manager in Leeds United's history to remain unbeaten in his first 18 home matches in his debut season in charge. So, Kev, record breaker. I still find it wild that people were, you know, I've just seen Lord Ash on Twitter say I'm sorry, and I fully back him now. You know, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. It's a little bit humble pie.
Archie Gray the record breaker as well, because I thought he tied it as 17 in his debut season, or was that the record already for Archie Gray?
Oh, no, we'll soon find out. But Kev, what a manager, what a coach. I still keep thinking about that analogy that Evie used about it's like cooking the perfect chili, and we're finally, you know, and we're getting to the point we're just flying. Like it's just amazing. It's all down to him. I'm sorry, it is. He deserves so much praise, Kev.
No, I agree. I think he's cooking up something phenomenal. Kev. Sorry, mate. I didn't realise you were setting Kev up there.
Sorry, mate. Right, no, I didn't realise I was setting Kev up by saying Kev about 3 times.
I'm sorry, mate. I better think.
It's all right. It's all right, bro.
No, he's great. I think some of the issues that we've had as a fan base is he's leaving his subs a lot late recently, but he started to bring them on a little bit earlier, especially when we've been dominating games. We're not getting silly injuries by leaving players on too long. His game plan. I think the one thing about, if we get back onto Pirro and Daniel Farke's system, is that at Swansea, Pirro was the main man. Everything was played through Pirro. They played to Pirro's strengths. Here, we're in a system where 11 players all contribute to all phases of play. And I think Pirro's been found out a little bit recently. Still got 10 league goals. We need to remember that. That's still in high on the list. But yeah, he doesn't fit the system. And I got to agree with Evie there about where he was tippy-tapping, trying to do little skills for the middle of the pitch and getting fouled and just stopping, and he's a bit weak really for me today. But yeah, but back to Farke. Yeah, he's a legend. Yeah. He's doing really well. He's breaking all these records. I don't want to say our ex-manager's name that everyone's comparing him to, but he's got more points than he had at that stage of the season. He's conceded less goals. As a unit, we're flying, and we're always talking about weaknesses in defence. We've conceded hardly any goals this year. We've got 2 players for each position now. Centre backs are flying. Pascal Struijk's going to be back soon. He's not even going to get in the team. Farkas just cooked all this up, and it's just brilliant. And the confidence he's using in the players too. I was listening to Pascal Strike on the visual radio before the game, talking about he builds players up, and we weren't in that last year because we were running on vibes. And I'm going to agree with JT. I think we're going to go and beat, and hopefully at home and Evie for the rest of the season. It's all in our hands, really. If we win the rest of our games, or especially all the way up to the last day, it's still in our hands, isn't it now? And it weren't
100%.
3 months ago. We were chasing everybody down.
Exactly. It's mad. Look, Parker's been speaking. He says, look, let's not get too carried away. It was a comfortable win. Since Christmas, their biggest loss was by 2 goals. So we've put 3 past them, so that's a positive. And let's be honest, it could have been more. He says we were respectful, so to win with a clean sheet, scoring 3 goals, you have to be happy. Should have been a tennis result, but Rotherham decided to fight to the end. They didn't give up. We are happy with 3-0. And it could have easily been, 6 and 7. I don't think it's that wild to say it. Very profligate in front of goal, but listen, one time it will cut. But as I say, one team is going to get a beating. That is a beating. Like 3-0 is a beating, I guess. Listen, I don't want to just speak for speaking's sake, because I don't feel there's much more we can say really on this game other than Leeds were dominant from minute 1. Could have had more goals, didn't. It is what it is. We move. Let's quickly, before we finish, get some man of the match shouts. JT, I know you mentioned Somerville, so I'll come to you first of all. Is he your pick?
Oh, by a country mile to me. Again, I was comparing him and Nonto earlier, and considering Nonto played for 30 more minutes or whatever it was in the end, surprisingly, Somerville was dupping him on pretty much every single statistic. You're talking chances created, you're talking take-ons, those kind of things. And I thought Nonto actually had a good game. Unlucky not to get himself a couple of goals, missed a big sitter at the beginning of the second half. But Somerville, for me, week in, week out, even when you think he's having a poor game, he's always chipping in with something. He's always creating the pass for the pass. He's always creating just some moment of magic, some moment of quality. And when you need a goal, when you need something desperately, he's there. And his penalty, by the way, bearing in mind, he missed his last penalty before this. He missed his last penalty. So there's a lot of pressure there. He's earned the penalty. Patrick Bamford is the first one to take the ball. The camera cuts away, so I don't see how the transition happened, but he's ripped the ball off of Patrick Bamford's hand.
Nah, that was just a point.
Well, listen, it's a turn of phrase. I didn't see how the transition happened.
Go on, I'll let you build it up. Go on,
He has ripped the ball off Patrick Bamford's hands. He's seen 38,000 people stand up with like Dwayne Johnson, goosebumps on their arms. He's planted the ball down on the spot. He's looking around, smelling what they're cooking. He has to finish his story. And they didn't just finish it. The coolness and the calmness to Panenka, the goalkeeper. Man, this guy is he should not be playing at this level. And again, today, I thought he was just great. He was running the channels well. I thought he had a good link up with Firpo and Kamara. I thought they were playing some nice triangles at times. Again, I love the link up play with him and Rutter down there. I thought from minute 1 to minute 60, I would have liked him to stay on the pitch, I have to say. I understand, yes, he's our best player. Yes, you don't want to risk him getting injured, but a hat-trick is a huge thing in professional football. And I think to give him only a few minutes on a brace before taking him off, I thought you should have at least left him for 10 minutes or so to see if he could nick himself
a hat-trick. More important games, though.
No, but a hat-trick is huge, man. It is huge for a player's career and for a club. Like, I know Jack Harrison, we don't really like him now, but he's etched himself into Leeds club folklore history.
Yeah, but Farker's not about that, though, is he? Farker's about the bigger picture.
Yeah, but I mean, at least if you want to take him off, at least give him 10 minutes on a personal level. Somerville, you could see how gutted he was to come off at that point. You're on a hat trick. You want to stay on for a bit. It's quite rare to get that. Yeah. But yeah, I thought for me, again, him, man of the match, and Rutter close second.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Evie, who's your man of the match? You can take Cree if you want, or if you've got a different shout.
Just to go to the point that JT was making about him taking him off, I do think it was the right thing, and I think that the whole thing is side before self. And we need these players. He is probably our best forward player. And obviously we've got Swansea on Tuesday, so there's not that much recovery time. Those Rotherham players as well were getting nasty by that point. You leave him on for 10 more minutes to see he maybe gets another goal. With our conversion rate being so shocking, he probably doesn't. He then maybe gets an injury in those 10 minutes. Was it worth it for a selfish stat? Rather than we'd won the game by that point, and that's the team. And Barker is managing the team, not managing individuals. So I think it was the best decision. And maybe if it comes to later on in the season and we are second comfortably, possibly by that point, then maybe then's the time to leave him on and get those stats in his personal bank. But I think for the team, we need Somerville to start on Tuesday. So any extra recovery time that he can have is what we need. This is really difficult because I don't think anybody really had a bad game. So, I mean, that's a really nice thing to be able to say, is that I think that I'm probably going to go Jorginho because I thought he was everywhere. He was nicking the ball. He took on so many people, or he'd have he'd have his arms kind of like spread eagle around three men, kind of, trying to hammer him off the ball. And, he wasn't looking for the foul. He was there, fighting them off, and the ref just wouldn't give it. And eventually he'd get it because, even a blind person could see the fact that, it was foul after foul after foul. So I do think that, he's my man of the match, just because, and as well, I enjoyed his little other spread eagle moment after he missed a absolute sitter right near the end as well, because it just kind of epitomizes what we all felt at that moment. We all just couldn't believe that yet again he had missed an open net, essentially. But 100%. We love him, and he's what makes football fun. So I am enjoying him for as long as we have him.
100%. Yeah. As soon as even a blind man could see, if you're looking at Skepta, you're looking at Grime, then you're looking at me. Sorry.
If you smell what the Wayman's cooking.
As soon as you said it, I couldn't get it out of my head. Farker has said, just on the Panenka, because I know there's been, sometimes he said stuff about Rutter and that. He did say, I'm too old for this generation. I'm old-fashioned. I'd rather he put the ball into the corner. I'm not a big fan of this, but who scores is right. He scores, and I'm pleased. So as long as it's a goal, that's the thing, innit? If he Panekas it and it goes over, then you're like, what are you doing? Put it in the corner. But, he's called this Somerville and he says, I will do this. Kev, give me your man of the match, buddy.
I'm actually split between the middle, between Rutter and Somerville. Yeah, Rutter was insane, especially on his defensive work. He's not clinical in front of goal, we all know that, but he's just a joy to watch. But what I liked about Rutter today is when he got tackled and then he's ran in the middle. I don't know if anybody remembers this, where he's in the middle of the pitch, just won the ball and just stood there like really straight and laid the ball off as if he was like made of concrete. He's an absolute beast. But then there's the other side of it where Somerville was just an absolute game changer. And with Rutter and Somerville in the same side, it's insane. Rutter's through balls are amazing. The weight of pass that he puts on everything is magnificent. But when he gets in front of goal, he just lashes at everything. It's really strange seeing a player like that. But I think I'm going to go for Somerville because of game-changing moments and have the cojones to do a Panenka penalty in a situation like that when he's missed the last one. I've got to go with Somerville for today. But I want to give a shout out to Nonto, because Nonto's defensive work was brilliant today. I really thought he put a shift in. Yeah. And no one's seeing that because he's missed the chances and hasn't scored the goals or the assists. But that front line, front five now, isn't it, is looking really, really strong.
Yeah, it's funny that, because that's what wingers are supposed to do. And there used to be this narrative when my man of the match, Archie Gray, was getting help from James as though that wasn't normal. That's what wingers do. That's what they're supposed to do. And Nonto and James do it in spades. Nonto started to do it more so. But my man of the match is Archie Gray, Mr. Boy Wonder. Phenomenal again, I thought he was. He was popping up in central spaces, and then he moved into midfield. He almost scored when he took that rip shot, which was saved. And I do think from midfield he will start to get goals as well. He's just got such an old head on Young's shoulders. We have the nucleus just an amazing team. You know, you've mentioned Rutter, you've mentioned Somerville, you've got Nonto, you've got Gray. These lads are so young, like, and with the experience of the likes of Ampadu, who still is very, very young, but has played football, it seems, forever. Rodon, even Connor Roberts coming in. You know, you go up. If we go up, you had some more experience in there. That's what I'd like to see the club do, as opposed to just always going for the next best thing. We do need some more experience in there. Yeah, I just think for me, he's amazing. I think he's class. So I would give it Gray. Leeds are cooking on gas, and
Can I ask you
look,
one question on that? Actually,
go on, mate.
just quickly, Archie Gray. Obviously, he's been playing right back. Obviously, I thought as well when he came into the midfield, phenomenal, and arguably he has improved into a great right back. But I do still think he's wasted development wise, because I think he can just offer so much more in the midfield. Obviously, we've signed Connor Roberts now.
I'll let you finish. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. My question to you is, does Connor Roberts actually get into the side? Because for me, that would potentially mean dropping Gruev, who a lot of people like. But and I as well, I think Gruev has been phenomenal, but I would prefer Archie Gray in the midfield. I don't know what you guys make of that.
So I don't think he would drop Gruev. He would drop Kamara for Gray. And I think what I will say in terms of his development, being at right back has allowed him to get up to a point where Daniel Farke feels that he can trust him. Now, I know he played in midfield at the start of the season, but that was more a case of out of necessity, I felt. He's then put him in at right back. He's improved. So that now I think it's him being at right back has helped him develop into an even better player. And I always come back to what Joe, when he had Scoobs on, and mentioned how it was very rare that a young player comes into a side and plays in their preferred position. They always play out of position. Not always, but that's just something who's actually works in the game, works for other people. So sometimes you have to, okay, they know more than me. But I almost feel that's been a part of the process. And what we've seen over the last few weeks is him being used more from 70th minute. You know, we're seeing subs changes, and one of the changes is, right, I'll put right back in, so I'll swap my right back for a midfielder, like Roberts for a midfielder, and then boom. But yeah, I think Roberts will eventually start in there. And I probably do think it would be for Kamara. But again, we tried to discuss this yesterday. It's so difficult, because then can you drop Kamara? Well, I would argue no. And then, like, if you're going to bring Strauch in, can you drop Gruev out of midfield? Because I would argue no. So, like, I would hate to be Farke, because as good as Bielsa was, he didn't have these selection headaches. Whereas Farke's got such a good squad, because that's the difference. People, when they make them comparison, yeah, but Bielsa had, yeah, we all agree. Like, Farke's squad is streets ahead of what Bielsa had. But, like, in terms, I'd hate to be him. Like, how can you turn to someone and say, I'm sorry, Gray, you're going to come out and we're going to put Roberts in? How can you then go to Kamara, I'm sorry, Kamara, I'm going to put Gray in midfield and put Roberts? Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's a good problem to have, but I wouldn't want to be the one making them decisions, to be honest. It'd be too
I
difficult.
don't remember the last time we had this
Nah.
within a Leeds team. There's always been injuries, always
Yep.
shoehorning someone in, isn't it? We haven't had this luxury for years now. Years.
Yeah, it's wild.
Crazy.
It's wild.
I mean, it is nice to, like, with the Gray situation, obviously, like, I am with JT in the fact of I like seeing him in midfield more, but I do think that it has been very beneficial for us, and probably very cost effective as well, by training Archie. We already know he's a competent midfielder at this level already at 17 years old, but Farke has now made him a competent right back at this level at 17 years old as well, which means that because of that, if Spence hadn't worked, which obviously he hasn't, Aylin's gone out on loan, if Gray hadn't have been given that opportunity and hadn't have been kind of developed in that right back role, we would have had to go and buy or loan 2 right backs this January. So I do think that he's turning him kind of into a more able-bodied and just streets ahead version of Dallas, in the fact of he's able to play in multiple positions, which as well works great for Leeds while we can keep him, and hopefully Leeds can grow and develop with Archie. But if we can't, it also adds valuable pounds to his price tag as well.
Do you know what, as well, I want to want to add, and listen, this guy's completed football, so it's wild to make these comparisons, right? But I'm gonna. Trent Alexander-Arnold will end up in midfield for Liverpool. No, he will. And now that Conor Bradley's coming through at Liverpool, you will see him play right back more and Trent be used in midfield. Trent was a midfielder. He then gets played at right back. We know he's not great defensively. I would argue Archie's miles ahead of him in terms of defensive capabilities. But, the way that Trent can put a ball on a set, I'm not saying Gray can do that. Of course, they're different players, but my point is, Trent's completed football and he's still, probably according to him and a lot of the media and stuff, playing out of position. He's a midfielder. You need to put him in midfield, let him spray them balls. And I think now that they've found a right back in Conor Bradley that Klopp looks like he's going to give a lot of game time to, that probably moves him in there. So I would argue him playing it right, it's okay. And if Connor Roberts can come in and be of sufficient level, then we'll see move in there anyway. I don't know. Maybe that's a wrong comparison. I don't know, but I just think it happens. Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is Archie Gray is a phenomenal footballer, and that's it.
Yeah, for
All right,
17,
Joe,
ridiculous.
Let's have a first answer only then.
Okay.
If you had to drop Archie Gray or Kamara or not have Connor Roberts in, what are you doing? Are you dropping Archie Gray, putting him into midfield, getting rid of Kamara, or are you keeping Archie Gray and Kamara on and not having Connor Roberts
I'm not
on?
playing Connor Roberts.
You're not playing Connor Roberts?
Yeah. We did this sort of like yesterday on the video as well. We came to the conclusion, you know what? We can't play him. And until he is of a sufficient level where he usurps him, I just can't bring him in. But it's great to have off the bench, right?
Oh yeah.
Would you agree with that, Evie, or are you saying get Roberts in and play Archie in midfield? What's yours?
Obviously, football is incredibly subjective. I personally think Kamara recently hasn't been fantastic. His passes have gone a bit wayward more times than they used to. So for me, I would make him earn his place back again. Gray has been phenomenal, so I would move him to midfield and I would have Connor Roberts, because I also thought Connor Roberts, for a sub appearance, made an impact today. He made a good crunching tackle, which really got the crowd up for, and Leeds fans love a good tackle, and he almost got himself an assist, and he was only on the pitch for 10 minutes. So for me, I would give him a chance, maybe not in an away game, maybe a home game where you've got a little bit more encouragement behind the ball and things, when he's still fresh to Leeds. But yeah, for me, I don't think Kamara has been brilliant. And I know Jamie Dixon has just put that he's got 100% pass accuracy, but we almost scored an own goal by his pass back. So, stats can also lie and be manipulated by your narrative as well.
No, they can. I personally think I think you do a slow transition. I think what you will see with it,
which we're seeing now,
slowly. I think slowly you're going to see him get 30 minutes in midfield, then you're going to see him get 40 minutes. Then I think you're going to see a half-time switch, maybe with Connor Roberts coming in. I don't think you can instantly just pull Kamara out and swap them, even though I think that is the long-term goal. I think if you do it too quickly, then certain players are looking like are all my good performances just brushed under the rug as soon as a new shiny toy comes in. I think you have to wait for the right moment, wait for like a cup game, maybe the Chelsea game. I think could be a good opportunity to just take a gamble, put Connor Roberts in and put Archie Gray in the midfield. I think Archie Gray against Chelsea could be written in the stars for him to do something. Also, I think you need either a cup game or just an injury or a dip of form. And then if Connor Roberts makes a good name for himself, Archie Gray, I think that's how it's done. I think you'll see it it'll take 3 or 4 weeks. And then I think you will start to see that team take shape personally.
100%. Gary, I just want to, because you said, no, Joe Gray's not a right back. He's filling in. I don't think I said he was a right back. I don't think I said he is a right back. You're saying he's a good CM and not a right back. Again, I disagree. If you're watching Archie, again, I'm not saying he is a right back, but do we all agree that he is an exceptional player in a right back position? We can all say at the start of the season he may have struggled in games. Even I've conceded that. Miller and other games. But now, he's no one can get near him. No one can get near him. Like, so I don't know. Yeah, it's wild, I think, anyway. But that's me.
What I want to see with Archie is, I think there's a lot of discourse in the comments about this, about Kamara at the moment, isn't there? Long term, I would like to see Archie in midfield. I don't think straight away. So I think impact on the side and for development and what we can see a bigger star in Archie is, he's got to be in the middle of the pack. I think that's what everyone's saying here. We're not saying that we should be dropping anybody or anything like that. Yeah. But yeah, going forward as a developmental for club and country, because we're obviously going to say that now, aren't we? Because that's how far he's going to go. That we want him in the middle of the park because the way he gets forward too, the way he runs through the middle of the pitch. I think that's what we're saying is because there's a lot of discourse about this, isn't there? So yeah, just want to get that out there.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fair. Apparently, the referees apologised to Liam Richardson on the handball. But listen, he did also concede that, look, Leeds United were far and away the better side. Goals change games, of course, but had we not scored that first, we still would have scored more, I think. So
we've had decisions like that go against us. Look at the West Brom game. You know,
look at the non-tour goal kick that you mentioned, Evie. That was a penalty all day.
Just, you know, we've had the West Brom player scooped it in with his hand, you know, and it still didn't get ruled out for handball. So it's welcome to the Championship. You know, go get your knickers in a twist somewhere else.
100%.
He's a Leeds fan, that Liam Richardson as well, isn't he? He's Leeds,
yeah. He was having a laugh with Archie Gray, and then we see Morrison, the centre back, doing Leeds salutes on one of the throws. I didn't get it. So yeah, it's just a world full of Leeds fans, isn't it? Really. Right. Look, we will end it there, I think. It's been great to catch up with you all. Leeds United have won again. We're now ahead of Ipswich. Even if they win their game in hand, they won't pass us because the goal difference is far superior. We're just a point behind Southampton now. Yes, they may win their game in hand, but again, we only need to be within 2 points of them come the end of the season for obviously that shootout at Elland Road, which I back us against anyone at that point. So I do think we'll get closer and usurp them before then, if I'm being honest, because they've got to play Ipswich, they've got to play West Brom in 7 days. That ain't going to be easy at the Hawthorn, so watch this space. So we are coming, and yeah, undefeated for the rest of the season. I think it's been claimed a few times now from a few people. I haven't actually said that. You know, the mad thing is I haven't said that. Like, Dale said it, I think Kev mentioned unbeaten at home, JT, even Evie. So yeah, I think you all need to calm down if I'm honest.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, right? There's something amiss there. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Make sure you check out JT at JT Live, Kev at Leeds House and Evie's channel coming soon, but no doubt you'll see her on other streams as well. But yeah, thanks as always for watching. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out, folks. Bye-bye now.